All right, so we're diving into some fascinating stuff today. The Grahika pilgrimage.
Yeah, the Yatra.
You found some interesting things in the Brahma Purana, right?
Oh, yeah, in chapter 36, actually. It lays out this whole journey
What?
to reach Vishnululoka.
Wow.
It's wild. It's not just like a
Like, how do you even...
physical trip. It's
Yeah.
like this whole spiritual transformation.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So is it like a step-by-step thing? Like a how-to guide?
Kind of, yeah. Like it tells the story of King Indrayumna and how he
I'm ready for a story. Let's go.
he asked Lord Krishna, Balarama, and Subhadra to come visit his garden.
His garden?
Well, it's not just any garden. It's like this.
Oh, it's got to be special, right?
Yeah, it's a pavilion called the Gucha Bandapa,
Okay.
and it's in Puri by a lake.
All right. A sacred lake, I'm assuming?
You know it. The Indradimuna Saravara.
Wow. So many names to keep track of.
And that's not all. It's also called Gukicha.
That's... Okay, we'll stick with Gutika for now. So this king invites these deities to this, like, mega garden. What's the big deal?
Well, the Brahma Purana says that seeing them during this yatra,
Okay.
you get, like, major blessings.
Like, what kind of blessings? Spill the beans.
We're talking entry into Vishnululoka.
No way. Just from seeing them.
Yeah, if you see the procession and, like, their tableau for a whole week.
So I just got to book a trip, show up, and boom, I'm in Vishnululoka. Sign me up.
Hold on. It does say devotion is key and proper worship.
Right. Of course. Can't forget that.
So you got to offer prayers, flowers, incense, lamps.
The whole 9 yards.
Gifts too.
Okay, so you're saying if I bring a really nice gift...
It says your desires will be fulfilled.
So it's kind of like a cosmic vending machine. I put in offerings, out pops my desire.
I mean, there's definitely a deeper meaning here.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it is interesting how it says anyone can participate.
Really?
Anyone.
Yeah. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras.
So social status doesn't matter.
It's like it's saying devotion is universal. Interesting. It's addressing social structures through spirituality. I like it.
Yeah.
But, okay, let's get back to the pilgrimage itself.
Right.
12 pilgrimages to Gutika in the month of Jyeshta, right?
That's it, the Dvadashi Yatra.
That's a mouthful.
12 pilgrimages.
Okay, so it's not just about fulfilling those desires.
No, it's also about liberation.
Moksha, right.
Exactly.
So it's like a spiritual marathon. You get the goodies now and liberation later.
That's a good way to put it.
I'm sold. But what do you actually do during these pilgrimages?
It's pretty detailed.
Give me the rundown.
So you start on Ekadashi.
Okay.
That's the 11th day of the bright fortnight of Jyeshta.
Got it.
You bathe in sacred water.
Sounds refreshing.
But before that, you have to invoke all the holy places and meditate on Lord Narayana.
Whoa, hold up. So I can't just jump in. Got to get in the right headspace first.
It's all about intention.
Right. Setting the tone, spiritual reset button.
Then comes Tarpana.
Okay, what's that?
It's like sending blessings to everyone who came before you.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful.
Deities, sages, ancestors.
Acknowledging that connection, I love it.
It's a powerful practice.
And then, what comes after honoring the ancestors?
Well, got to give thanks to the sun, right?
Of course, can't forget the sun.
You do the Gayatri mantra japa 108 times, some other sun mantras.
All right, starting to feel energized already.
And offer salutations to the sun god.
Okay, so we've had a sacred bath, sent out blessings, and worshiped the sun. What's next on this spiritual to-do list?
Then you head home and worship Lord Purushottama.
Wow, a whole other worship session.
This one's pretty special.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Break it down for me.
You bathe the deity with all sorts of things.
Like what?
Ghee, milk, honey, water.
A symbolic spa day for the deity.
You could say that.
Each ingredient must have a meaning, right?
Oh yeah, it's all symbolic.
What happens after the bath?
You dress the deity up.
Ooh, dress-up time.
Clothes, fragrant stuff, flowers.
Making the deity look their best.
Then you offer incense, lamps, food.
The classic offerings. Yeah, a feast fit for a god.
And after all that, do we get to sleep?
Actually, you stay awake all night.
Seriously.
Yeah.
A spiritual all-nighter.
It's about keeping that devotion going strong.
Okay, what do you even do all night?
Storytelling, singing, discussions about Lord Vasudeva.
Wow, that sounds intense.
But remember, the rewards are worth it.
I'm starting to get tired just hearing about all this, and we're only on day 1.
It's a journey, that's for sure.
But a journey with a pretty amazing destination from what I'm hearing.
That's right.
So what happens after we conquer all 12 pilgrimages? Is there like a final ceremony, a grand finale?
There is. It's called the culmination ceremony, and it's quite something.
Oh, I bet. Okay, let's hear about this culmination ceremony. What makes it so special?
Well, for starters,
Yeah.
it takes place on Davashi, the 12th day,
Oh.
and you have to invite 12 Brahmanas,
12 Brahmanas.
but not just any Brahmanas.
Oh, there's got to be a catch, right? They have to be like super Brahmanas.
They have to be qualified.
All right, what makes them qualified?
They got to know the Vedas history, the Puranas,
Wow, so like scholars, basically.
and they have to be celibate and have strong self-control.
That narrows it down.
It's a high bar.
That's quite a guest list. Why so strict? What's the point of these super Brahmanas?
They represent, like, the wisdom and purity you need for this spiritual journey.
Oh, so they're like the ultimate guides.
Yeah, they're essential.
Okay, so you've assembled your dream team of Brahmanas. What happens next in this ceremony?
You do the deity bathing and worship again, just like before,
So we're repeating the rituals.
but this time with 12 Brahmanas.
Wow, talk about a spiritual power-up.
And it doesn't stop there. You got to honor the Brahmanas with gifts.
Oh, right, the offerings.
What else?
What are we talking about here?
Cows, gold, umbrellas, shoes, money, clothes, and of course a feast.
Wow, they're really getting the VIP treatment.
It's about showing gratitude for their knowledge and guidance.
Interesting how generosity is such a big part of this whole thing.
It's not just about the material stuff.
Right, it's deeper than that.
It's about recognizing their wisdom.
Okay, makes sense. So we've got the gifts, the feast, what else?
You donate 12 water pots filled with sweets.
What? Water pots filled with sweets.
And you offer fees to the Brahmanas and your acharya.
The acharya, that's the preceptor, right?
Exactly.
Okay, sweets and fees, interesting combo. What's the symbolism there, you think?
Good question. Maybe it's about the sweetness of knowledge or like an abundance of blessings.
I like that. Sweet rewards for a tough journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've given the gifts, feasted, donated sweets. What's the final step?
You express gratitude and seek blessings from the Brahmanas and the acharya.
A nice way to end the ceremony, acknowledging their role in all of this.
And then to spread those blessings even further, you feed everyone.
Everyone.
Relatives, devotees, the poor, the needy.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's about extending that generosity outward.
From the individual to the community.
Exactly. Spiritual growth isn't just about personal gain.
Right, it's about sharing it with the world.
That's a big part of it.
Okay, so after all these pilgrimages, all these rituals, this grand finale ceremony, what's the final reward? You got to tell me. I'm on the edge of my seat.
The Brahma Purana says, if you do all this with true devotion,
Yeah.
it's like doing 1,000 Ashvamedha sacrifices and 100 Rajasuya sacrifices.
Those sound intense.
Yeah.
What are those like mega sacrifices?
They're super important in Hindu tradition, usually done by kings.
So basically, this pilgrimage is like a spiritual fast track to like ultimate good karma.
You could say that.
But it's not just about racking up points, right?
No, the ultimate reward is reaching Vishnaloka.
On a celestial chariot, radiating like the sun.
That's how the text describes it.
Wow, that's an image.
It's about reaching that divine union.
Becoming one with everything.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, has anyone ever actually achieved that? Like reached that level of spiritual awesomeness?
That's a good question.
Maybe it's not about taking it literally, but more about what it symbolizes.
I think that's a big part of it.
What do you mean?
All those elements, the purification, self-control, generosity, honoring knowledge, seeking guidance.
Those are all things we can strive for, even today.
They're timeless.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly.
And the Brahma Purana gives us a map for that journey, a way to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
It's an incredible text.
It really is. It makes you appreciate how much dedication and devotion went into preserving all this knowledge.
It's a treasure trove of wisdom.
And it's not just ancient history, it's still relevant today.
Absolutely.
I mean, how do these ancient practices connect with our modern lives?
Yeah.
You know, how do we find fulfillment and connection in the world we live in now? It's a lot to think about.
It is. It's a big question.
This whole idea of rituals and offerings, it feels so different from our lives today.
It does, doesn't it?
But maybe that's what's so cool about these texts. They
Yeah.
make us think about these timeless questions.
They connect us to something bigger than ourselves.
It's like we're having a conversation across time. But even if those specific rituals are hard to do now,
Right.
the ideas behind them are still powerful.
They really are.
Like purification, self-control, generosity, seeking knowledge.
Those are all things we can still strive for.
Those ideas transcend time and culture.
They're about inner peace, connecting with our higher selves, helping others.
So even though we're not building altars or giving cows to brahmanas, we can still apply those principles.
Absolutely.
We can find ways to integrate them into our modern lives,
Exactly.
maybe through service, meditation, or just being more mindful.
It's about adapting those ancient practices to our current reality.
Exactly.
And remember, the Brahma Purana is just one piece of this huge tradition.
Right. There are so many paths to explore.
So many ways to connect with those deeper truths.
This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
We too.
It sparked my curiosity, for sure.
I hope it encourages you to keep exploring Hindu spirituality.
And for our listeners, if you're feeling that same spark,
Yeah.
the Brahma Purana and tons of other resources are out there.
Keep searching, keep learning.
Take what resonates with you. Explore different perspectives. Keep seeking that connection.
That's the key.
Beautifully said. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the Gonja pilgrimage. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking knowledge.
That's the best advice I can give.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
Okay, I'm ready for the grand finale. Tell me about this culmination ceremony.
This ceremony takes place on Dvadashi, the 12th day,
Okay.
and it involves some very specific elements.
Okay, like what?
For starters, you need to invite 12 qualified brahmanas.
Wait, not just any brahmanas will do. What makes them qualified for this ceremony?
They need to be well-versed in the Vedas, history, and Puranas.
Wow.
They must also be celibate and possess strong self-control.
It's a pretty high bar.
Ah,
Wow, that's a selective group. I guess these aren't your average dinner guests.
right.
What's the reasoning behind such strict criteria?
It's all about the spiritual weight these brahmanas carry. They're seen as essential guides in this journey, representing the wisdom and purity needed to reach those higher states of being.
So you've gathered your 12 wise men. What happens next in this ceremony?
You repeat the deity bathing and worship procedures we talked about earlier, honoring both the deities and the brahmanas.
Right, so the same offerings and rituals, but this time it's multiplied by 12?
Exactly. But it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
You also need to honor the brahmanas with some pretty extravagant offerings.
Okay, like what?
We're talking cows, gold umbrellas, shoes, money clothes, and of course, a grand feast.
Wow, they're really rolling out the red carpet for these brahmanas. It's interesting how generosity plays such a central role in this pilgrimage.
It's not just about material wealth, though.
Right.
It's about recognizing and honoring knowledge and spiritual guidance, showing gratitude for their wisdom and role in the journey.
It's like you're investing in your spiritual growth, both through the rituals and by honoring those who hold the knowledge.
That's a great way to put it.
So we've got offerings, feasts, what else?
To top it all off, you donate 12 water pots filled with sweets and offer appropriate fees to the brahmanas and your preceptor, also known as the acharya.
Water pots filled with sweets. Now that's a new one. I can't help but wonder about the symbolism there. What do you think it represents?
It's fascinating, isn't it? I think there are layers of meaning there. Perhaps it's about the sweetness of attaining knowledge or the overflowing abundance of blessings.
I like that. A sweet reward for a long journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've presented the offerings, feasted with the brahmanas. What comes next?
The final step is expressing gratitude and seeking blessings from the brahmanas and the acharya.
It's a beautiful way to close the ceremony, acknowledging the role they've played in your journey.
And then to extend those blessings even further, you feed relatives, devotees, the poor, and the needy.
It's like a ripple effect of generosity extending outward from the individual to the community.
Exactly. It's a powerful reminder that spiritual growth isn't just about personal gain.
Right.
It's about sharing the benefits with others.
So after all this, after 12 pilgrimages, countless rituals, and this grand culmination ceremony, what's the final reward? I got to get to the good part.
The Brahma Purana states that performing these rituals with true devotion yields the merits equivalent to conducting 1,000 Ashvamedha sacrifices and 100 Rajasuya sacrifices.
Okay, those sound like some serious sacrifices. I'm going to need a little context here.
Mm-hmm.
How significant are we talking?
These are some of the most important and elaborate sacrifices in Hindu tradition, often performed by kings to assert their power and achieve spiritual merit.
So basically, this pilgrimage is like a spiritual shortcut to some serious karmic brownie points.
You could say that, but it's not just about racking up points.
Right.
The ultimate reward, as described in the text, is reaching Vishnaloka on a celestial chariot radiating like the sun.
Wow, that's quite the visual. It sounds like a truly transcendent experience.
It's about achieving a state of divine union, becoming one with the source of all creation.
It makes you wonder if anyone has ever actually achieved this level of spiritual attainment.
That's a question for the ages, isn't it? But perhaps the real power of these rituals lies not in their literal interpretation, but in their symbolic meaning.
What do you mean by that?
Well, think about all the elements involved: purification, self-control, generosity, honoring knowledge and guidance.
Yeah.
These are all qualities that can lead to personal transformation and spiritual growth, regardless of whether you literally reach Vishnaloka or not.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. And the Brahma Purana provides a detailed map for that journey, a path to connecting with the divine and fulfilling our deepest aspirations.
It's mind-blowing to think about the depth and complexity of these ancient practices.
It really is. It makes you appreciate the dedication and devotion that went into preserving and transmitting this knowledge over the centuries.
It's like a treasure chest of spiritual wisdom waiting to be unlocked.
And it's not just a historical artifact.
Okay.
It's a living tradition with relevance to our modern lives.
That's what I was just thinking about. I mean, how do these ancient practices resonate with seeking personal fulfillment and connection to the divine in the world we live in today? It's a lot to ponder.
Yeah.
It is a lot to ponder, for sure.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. Like, all those rituals and offerings,
Yeah.
they seem so far removed from our lives now.
They do, but I think that's what makes these ancient texts so fascinating.
You do.
They challenge us to engage with these timeless questions. They help us explore what it means to be human in a way that goes beyond time and place.
It is pretty amazing that we can connect with these ideas from so long ago.
It's like a conversation across the centuries.
Exactly. And even if we can't do those exact rituals,
Right.
the ideas behind them are still powerful.
Oh, absolutely. Those principles are timeless.
Yeah, like the focus on purification, self-control, generosity.
The importance of knowledge and guidance.
Those are things we can still work on today.
They're universal values, really. They transcend time and culture,
It's about that inner peace,
connecting with something bigger than ourselves.
helping others.
Exactly.
So even if we're not building altars or offering cows,
Right.
we can still find ways to live by those principles.
Absolutely. We can integrate them into our modern lives.
Yeah, like through service, meditation, being mindful.
It's about adapting those practices to our current reality.
Right. Finding what works for us.
Exactly. And the Brahma Purana is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle,
It is. There's so much to learn.
There are so many paths to explore, so many ways to connect with those deeper truths.
This deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about.
It's been a fascinating journey, hasn't it?
It has. It's really sparked my curiosity to learn more.
I hope it encourages you to keep exploring Hindu spirituality.
I will, for sure. And for our listeners, if you're feeling that same spark,
Yeah, keep that curiosity alive.
remember that the Brahma Purana and other resources are out there.
Keep searching.
Take what resonates with you, explore different perspectives, keep seeking that connection.
That's the key.
Beautifully said. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the Goika pilgrimage. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking knowledge.
Thanks for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.